Shalom family, my name is Anna Israel. Welcome to this channel. All praises to the Most High and to His Son, the Messiah. If you haven't yet, please like, share, and subscribe. And make sure you hit the notification bell so you get notified every time I put some new content out there. So today the podcast is entitled, Do Not Usurp Authority Over Men. So this podcast is to explain how to be in line in our place when it comes to deal with the men, especially our Israelite men. We pretty much all heard the verse of 1 Timothy 2 verse 12, which reads as this, quote, "But I suffer not a woman to teach, nor to usurp authority over the men, but to be in silence," unquote. So we're going to look up the word usurp in the Oxford English Dictionary. It says to take over someone's position or power illegally or by force. Now, when you read this, you should wonder and try to understand what's a man's position so you prevent yourselves from taking such a position, from into your household, all the way to the public spaces in your congregation if you're in one, and even all the way to the social media spaces. So, to start with the household, Ephesians 5 verse 23 says, first and foremost, that the husband or the man is the head of the wife, meaning you shouldn't be trying to tell your husband how to lead you. It's not your place, you're his possession, not as a slave, but as an inheritance from the Most High. As a matter of fact, Proverbs 18 verse 22 says that a wife, or should I say a good wife, is a gift from Yah. So you're important too, sister. Stop envying the men by trying to play their role, okay, and taking their place. Your role is important too, okay? Always remember that, but stay in your place because we need that role to be played too, okay? So stay in your place so we don't have two men in the household or two men in a specific place. We need a man and a woman. Both roles are important, and please remember, always try to remember that your role is as important. So, to get back to the man, he will guide, lead, and protect you all the way to the gates of the kingdom of heaven. Just trust your man. Your role is to submit to his authority and follow his leadership. Now, for the public spaces and the congregation, the Apostle Paul mentioned something about teaching, and the teaching part got a lot of people confused. It doesn't mean that women cannot teach at all, okay? It just means that they cannot teach men. We gotta stay into the context of the verse. And according to the Bible, men are males starting at the age of 20. So a woman can definitely teach in preschool, elementary school, middle school, and high school, and other environments where they teach males that are below the age of 20, okay? If I read my Bible correctly, I believe that a woman can teach males all the way to high school age, meaning teaching males, the basics of life and general culture. After that, once they turn 20 years old, it should go over to the men that will take care of teaching them and feeding them with the strong meat. So if you're in a congregation, you cannot teach grown men, okay, that are 20 years old and above. Just the women and the children you can teach to. So to prove biblically that manhood starts at 20 years old, I'm going to use a scripture from the Bible. In Numbers 26 verse 22, it says, "Take a census of all the congregation of the sons of Israel from 20 years old and upward by their fathers' households, whoever is able to go out to war in Israel," unquote. So basically, this scripture says that whenever a male is of age to go to war, that's when he reaches adulthood. And in this verse, it says 20 years old. Also, it mentions something about a census. In census back in Israel, they didn't count the women and or the children. So if they start counting a son of Israel once he's 20 years old, well, that means he's considered a grown male, aka a man at that age. So under 20 years old, you can teach a male. The book of Titus commands women to teach children, to teach the kids, and the Bible considers male below the age of 20 as children, okay? So now I'm going to focus on the usurping part, which is basically wanting to play the role of a man in society. Now, I know you're not going to like what I'm going to say, but please bear with me if you strive to obey the commandments of the Holy Bible. There are gender roles, and I will repeat that in another way. Gender roles do exist according to the Bible, and you must know what a woman and a man are supposed to do or to be like in a society. You must know according to scripture what roles each gender can play, so you don't get those roles mixed up by ending up playing a man's role. I will encourage you to research what those roles are, because I'm not trying to get blocked here, but research for yourselves, and that should be and that will be your homework. The only thing I can say is that women are supposed to take care of the house, of the children, of their husbands, and of themselves. Please research what that means. You can comment down the section below what roles would imply in the society at large for the women. And before I end this podcast, I'm going to say a small word about social media. So, I'm not going to police what you should or not post on social media. I will, however, tell you this. If a grown man, okay, a stranger on top of that, post something you don't agree with, leave the post alone and move on. Do not confront the man. Don't go back and forth with him. And ultimately, don't correct him, especially when it comes to scriptures. That would be you usurping the authority over men. Only a man can correct a man. I know you don't like it, but if you want to keep those commandments, you will remember that you have to be in silence when it comes to men. So you can nevertheless, if you're single, meaning you're unmarried, you can ask questions if you need enlightenment on the subject. That would be used, staying at your place and letting the men lead you, okay? That would be a yes from the Apostle Paul. So I repeat, if you're single, you can ask questions. If you're married, you shouldn't go back and forth with men, strangers on top of that, okay? Stay in your place, and that will attract more favor from the Most High and more protection as well, okay? So that will be it for the video podcast today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something from this. If you enjoyed this podcast, please like, share, and subscribe. And with this, I wish you happiness, joy, rest, bliss, and blessings to you all. Shalom.